Here's the story. It's ruffling feathers from Sussex to Sunderland. Under new Labour proposals, council tax bills in part of the south could rise to help fund services in the north.
It's really going to cause a divide, isn't it? Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner says it's about fairness and targeting money where it's needed most.
Yeah, so it would be about the government grants. You get more grants in the north, which would take money away from the south, which means council tax bills would have to rise to meet the shortfall.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean. But critics say it's divisive, with people in the south fearing they could end up just forking out more.
So basically we're asking, should the south pay for the north or subsidise the north?
Let's talk to Labour activist and writer Aisha Ali Khan and Conservative councillor for Stellybridge South, Liam Billington. Aisha, what do you think? Is this a good idea?
Morning, Stephen. Morning, Anne. Yes, I think to a certain degree this is, it's not just a good idea, it's a needed idea. I think that for too long we've had this huge divide between the south and the north, and all this money has been invested, all this money comes in, businesses, investments and so on, and the north keeps on being promised there's a huge amount of money. We had all these sort of promises when Boris Johnson was on the election trail in 2019, the Northern Powerhouse, again the same thing last year as well, and we're just not seeing that level of investment that's coming through, which is going to increase the lives of the quality of people's lives here. So I think it's really important to look at how we can make that possible, how we can make it fairer. And also, we've not really had any proper reform of the council tax system for over 20 years. And in that period of time, in those years, we've seen the divide between the wealthiest people and the amount of property in terms of the assets, in terms of cash, the increases, property prices between the north and the south has increased so much. So I think it would definitely be a sensible idea to start sharing some of the wealth that the south has generated with the most deprived areas in the north. I mean, these are areas we're talking about that are really, really struggling.
All right, Aisha. Liam?
I disagree on that. So what Angela Rayner is looking to do is to punish areas which have traditionally voted Conservative, and in those councils have had very good financial stewardship of looking after the basics, investing in skills and businesses. You come to areas like Tameside, which I'm a councillor for, and you've got to just look around and see what an absolute mess it is. And this is what happens with Labour-run councils. They make a mess of their areas. They create high dependency, and there is a lot of money going on to these areas already through the Barnett formula. But councils in places like Tameside and Greater Manchester, they're not spending that money wisely. Ashton-under-Lyne, which is Angela Rayner's constituency, that had £40 million from the last Conservative government in levelling up schemes, and nothing's been delivered from it. Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Greater Manchester, he's had hundreds of millions of pounds to build new houses. Where has he built them? He's built them in Deansgate, luxury apartments, which is currently being taken to court for. So, it's how you spend the money, and it's not a question of more money. What we need in the north is better, sound financial management, not more taxes on the rest of the country.
So, Aisha, it's not a geographical problem, it's who's running the council and how good they are at spending the money.
I actually do agree with Liam to a certain extent, Anne, because some councils have really messed up. They haven't basically spent wisely, as he's just pointed out. But also, Liam, we've got to look at the fact that we've got elderly people now, people that are living longer, people that don't have assets that we can sell.
There's elderly people in the south as well.
So that falls on the council, though. That falls on the responsibility falls on the local councils to help these people as well. And also we've got people. I'm a school teacher, so I have much more experience with regards to this, with young people being diagnosed with special needs, and therefore the funding and so on down, and one child had to fight for 2 years in order to get the funding in place.
But that's not a northern issue, though, is it, Aisha? It's an issue across the country.
But obviously, in the north, you've got a lot more children, a lot more people, in urban areas all living together. And obviously, when you think about
why would there be more
wider
people with
issue
disabilities
of
in the
mental health
north?
issues. Sorry, Liam, I can't talk over you. When you think about the issues that some children have had, like special needs, mental health issues, and so on, the parents themselves, and then those issues get passed down to children as well. And therefore, at some point, they will need more help in their lives as well. And it's wonderful to know that some councils are doing such a good job.
Before we run out of time, Aisha, I've got to let Liam get another word in.
So I disagree with that. That's very insulting to people of the north to make out that we're some sort of victims. We have these issues right up and down the country, and it's not fair what's happening to other councils across the country, particularly rural councils, which have seen a rural services grant cut from them. You just look at Tameside. The Legatum Institute places us 369th place out of 379 councils. Like I say, it's about management, not about needing more money, because the money has been there for years. OK, we've got to leave it there. Liam, Aisha, thank you both very much indeed. Good to get your perspectives on this. Henry has been in touch saying, as a norther living in Bradford and seeing the waste brought about by the Labour Council here, I say no, keep your money. It'll be wasted here. Patricia says, I'm paying a lot of council tax already. I live in the south. I can't afford any more.
Apparently, I mean, the problem is that, yes, those sort of things, local councils should raise the taxes and spend that locally on local people and what they need. But approximately half of councils' incomes currently come from government grants. And that's what this is all about.
Yes.
It's how Angela Rayner would mess about with or change or tinker with the way government grants are allocated.
But that would mean that there would be shortfalls, potentially, in the south that would have to be met by increasing council tax.
Exactly.
But a lot of people, Katrina's in the north, I'm from up north, it's not right, this idea. Stuart, it's a crazy idea, and I live in the north.
You could also argue, couldn't you, that what you'd be doing is subsidising bad councils.
Potentially, yeah.
Councils that don't spend their money properly.
All right.
At GB News, we are proud to stand for you. For the Britain you love. For the communities you live in. That's what makes us the fearless champions of Britain. Its voices and its values. Because we, at GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.